Hola, hi everyone. Thank you for being here today. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I think there's gonna be a few of us joining today, but we are recording this session to share with the rest of the grantees of the Mexico United FC and the Opportunity Funds grantees today. So, welcome everyone. My name is Yandy Reynoso. I am one of the advisors in Education USA in Mexico City. And today we also have Juanma, who's also an Education USA advisor for Chiapas and Tabasco. And the two of us, we will be doing this short webinar, but really very important. Okay, so this is the agenda. This is what we're gonna be covering today. We have divided this session in 10 steps that you need to follow in order to start contacting coaches. I know some of you have already started drafting your emails, that the emails that you're gonna be sending to your coaches. If you haven't started, then you are ready to do so after today's session. So, if we can switch to the next slide. Okay, yeah. Can we go full screen, Juanma, please? Thank you.
Hey. Hold on.
Okay, there we go. So first of all, before we get into the 10 steps that we're going to be sharing with you, it's really important to understand the why we need to do it, why we need to start contacting coaches, why we need to start drafting our emails. Emails, as you can see on screen, through the years has been one of the best ways to reach out to college coaches. I can imagine contacting a coach, sending a written letter through the mail, or you can do it through the phone, and we're gonna be sharing a few tips on that, but the best way will be to do it through email. It's a superpower, contacting them and using the email. It gives you a predictable and straightforward channel to contact college coaches. We're going to be learning through this presentation that it'll be direct communication between you and your prospective coach, nobody else. So it's simple. It's also reliable. We're going to be sharing with you some tips on how to keep up your game, how to track the emails that you're going to be sending, because you're going to be sending these emails consistently and you're going to be contacting many people. These emails, they need to be simple, easy to understand, easy to read, not super long. And as I said, we're going to be sharing with you some tips on that. You need to find a way to stand out from the crowd. Also, it's very important that you have the purpose and the objective of your email. Why am I writing this email? What is the purpose of my email? And as I say, we're going to be sharing a little bit more about you, and make sure that reach out to your advisor, either Juanma or Jenny or Elizabeth, or if you're working with myself, reach out to us so we can help you with the different strategies that we're going to be sharing with you. Contact us also to review your templates, your drafts before you send these emails. We're going to be working with you in this important task. So if we can go to the next slide. Okay, and now Juanma will be sharing with you a few tips on how to contact college coaches.
All right, thank you, Andy. All right, so there's certain steps that we're going to be walking you through, and I know that in the past we have already mentioned this specific topic on sending emails to coaches, but now we wanted to take a full hour to talk about this and to help you figure it out this part, since there's a, like Yandi said, it is a very important part of the recruiting process. So the first thing is that before you actually start writing your email, you need to have the email from the coaches. And how are you going to find that, right? That information. It's really easy. And we can actually try to do it here. Uh, if I want to say, for example, let's say soccer, women's team, Ohio State University. Then you will be taken to, oh. All right. So you can see we have the first one, and you can even look at the other ones, a women's soccer roster and all that. But you can go to the first one, and it will take you straight to the head coach, right? And then there you will be able to see, learn everything about her and everything that goes over there, right? Now, one of the things that you want to do also, and then in the PowerPoint, let me show you, let me go back to my PowerPoint. Now, it takes time. Doing it like that takes time. There's also other ways. There's some certain websites and software that you actually pay that can give you that information. But also, there's you can do things, all these things by yourself, right? So you go visit, look at the information. You can just do a quick Google search, and then you'll find the website. So for example, this is some of the things as I show you, but if you just Google Michigan's men's soccer coaches, then it's gonna it's gonna give you the name of the coach. But also another thing that it's important for you to know is that especially bigger teams that are gonna have many different coaches. Then you have the head coach, where you have the assistant coach, another assistant coach, and probably another assistant coach, and other people on staff for the teams. Now, one thing that you want also to do is that many times when you send emails to the coaches, remember that the coaches are the ones that are doing the training, leading the team, and all that. And many times, especially for bigger teams, they are not the ones reading at those emails. Many times they forward those emails to some of the assistant coaches. So also another idea is that you should also send emails to assistant coaches. Assistant coaches are the ones that also are building their career. They want to find the talent and send it over to the coach, to the head coach. So many times it is a better game plan for you to send emails to the assistant coaches and start the communication with them. Also, many times head coaches are going to say, "Hey, this looks great." Email the assistant coach, Marcos, for example, and he will follow up. So, anyways, many times they will direct you to the assistant coach. So, I would say email either the head coach and the assistant coaches because many times the ones that are actually doing the recruitment and looking for new talent and all that are going to be the assistant coaches, not the main coach. Yeah, that's one of the things. So you need to be starting looking at that, and then create your own your own a spreadsheet or something where you're putting all the names in from the universities that you're looking into. remember that you should be already working in the university list. And so from that university list, start managing the information and say, this is the coach that I'm communicating with. And also expect no answers from those emails many times, especially if you're emailing before your junior year. Many times, remember that there are rules. Many times coaches cannot answer your email if you're a sophomore or if you are a younger than that. But and many times you're not going to get a great long answer. Sometimes you're just going to receive an okay or a grade or something, but it means that they're reading your information. And if they are interested in you, then they will continue that they will continue that conversation, communication. All right. So once you have your emails, once you know who you're going to be writing to, you need to start. We're not even starting with the email. We need to start with the subject line. And this is really important because I think I cannot tell you how many times I have received emails with subject lines where the student wrote the body of the text in the subject line. And I know that us as teenagers, we don't use email as much. We might not know how to use everything on the emails and how to do it and all that. But in this case, it is going to be mandatory, necessary that you know how to write effective emails. If not, this is not going to work for you. So subject lines are the title of the emails, right? It's the part where it's going to call the coach's attention. If you're thinking about this as a movie, the title of the movie, the title of the movie is that what brings you into the movie, right? So the subject line is the first thing that they're going to see, is the title of your email, and it should have really key and important information, right? Your subject line should include information, for example, like your grade, or not exactly the grade, but the year that you're graduating. So for example, if you're going to remember that in English, the graduating class is when you are going to be graduating. So I might be graduating class 2026 or 2024. Or if I'm graduating this year, I'm classes 2023. Remember that you need to speak the coach's language. Many times they receive hundreds of emails every day of interested students that want to play for them at their school. So you need to be very clear, straightforward. Things that you can include in your subject line, it's the name, the position you play, your height, your height, and important information like that, right? Yandy said at the beginning, your email needs to stand out, and it needs to stand out since the beginning. Keep it short. Maybe you don't even have to put your name, since you're gonna have your name in your email. So show them the information that might be more interesting for them, right? So for example, we have here some examples, and make sure, again, for example, 6'6", we might not really know what that is, but remember that you're sending to coaches that live in the United States. And although the United States is the only country that uses the imperial system, if a coach maybe looks at 1.70 meters or something, it doesn't click in their head, they're not going to open it. So make sure that you speak their language, right? 6'6", their position, the class, your GPA, where you're from, right? Or when you're graduating, what is your position, center back, your GPA, if you're taking any SATs or ACT, and what's your major, right? So it could be in the order that you want, but that is information that you want to include in the subject line. Really, really, really important. If that will depend, and if your subject line is attractive and it's clear, and it's a straightforward and it's something that they're looking for, then they will open it. If not, just try to think, if every day you receive 30 or 60 emails, and maybe you don't have time, so but to open them all. But since the subject line, I see that, oh, we need a center back, for example. Let's open that one with that, where there's that student that is a center back and it has a 28 in the SAT, right? So with that, I can go and open it up. So that's really important. All right, so that's the number one. So number one, sorry, was looking for the coach's email. Now writing a subject line. Next one is making this for individuals, right? So if they are going to open, if you're being successful into the coaches opening your email, then you want it to be worth it, right? Now, don't just use one template and send it for every single coach. If you're sending it to 20 or 30 coaches, which is about the number that you should be looking into your university list, if you have 4, 5, 10 universities, we're in problem. You're in trouble when you need to have many universities. Okay, so but if you have one email that you want to send to all of them, just exactly the same, then why should I look into you if you're not really paying attention to me, if I'm a university or a coach? So they can immediately see your email and say, this student is just sending emails to everyone. They're not really interested in our school. It's just, they just copy and paste the template that they're using with everyone to multiple coaches and delete, right? So make your email stand out. How are you going to do that? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just imagine that you can think of this. You want to make them feel special. That's what you want to do. And how are you going to do that? You can drop 1 or 2 sentences at the beginning, showing that you have done your homework, knowing either the coach, the team, or the school. Maybe you're going to compliment something that happened with the team a couple of years ago. Maybe you are going to say something about something that you admire about the specific coach, right? Something that you think it's cool about the school spirit or the school team or the school something that, so something that says this student is really writing to us as university, is not just using the same email for everybody. So don't be lazy, do your homework, read articles. Yes, you're gonna have to read articles about 30 coaches. Yes, that's the work that you have to do, right? So look at their Twitter accounts, look at their, if there's Instagram pages for the team, for the school, a lot of work. You're gonna be doing a lot of work. Do something, find something interesting and talk about that. So here's some examples of how you can personalize your email, that you can show that you have done your research. So Coach Smith, I am very impressed with your recent conference championship. I was able to watch the game and loved how much passion the team showed. I want to be part of a program like that, right? So if you're sending this to everyone, but not everyone has won the recent conference championship, this is, for example, a coach might say, we haven't even participated in a conference championship lately, right? So what is this student talking about? So that's why it is really important that you personalize those. It's super simple, right? So there's many students that don't do this. They just say, hi, my name is this, and that. And if it's really clear that that email is just being sent to everyone, just a couple, there's a part probably of your email that you can copy and paste, but make it personal for each coach that you send information to. So yes. So this research is going to help you also to filter schools. After all, maybe you will, through this research, you find out that you really don't want to even go to that school, right? So it's going to help also help you. So it's time to show that you're interested in the programs and in the teams. That's number 3. Number 4, now show why you're interested. This is also another important part. So after adding the greeting and the personalization, write a sentence or maybe a 2 sentence on why you're interested in the school or the program. For example, if your goal is to become an engineer and that school is very good at that program in engineering, you can say that, right? Or maybe you love the academic support that that school has with student athletes or with international students, right? So this is where you're going to show that you have done your research in the school. Many of you sometimes don't even have an idea why you want to study at a specific school. Maybe there's a tradition that you love at that school. Maybe there's the spirit. Maybe there's you love how focused into the community that school is. Maybe you love how supportive they are with specific communities for minorities, right? So what do you love about the school? It's not just about, I want to come here because you play and you want to, and you can give me a scholarship. It's like, I really love your university. I want to be here because I want to be part of that community. If you show that, you have better chances of being accepted. And also what we're interested also into is getting certain scholarship, right? So, however, since you're emailing a coach, it is in your best interest to relate to why you're interested in their program and their school, right? Now, okay, so remember, make it personalize your email, write something that why you're interested in the school that shows that you have done the homework. And then after that, you go ahead and share who you are, your statistics, your GPA, the qualities that you have, right? Now, it doesn't need to be long things that we're talking about. Remember, we're talking about 1 sentence, 2 sentences max on the previous sections, right? Now, for number 5, you could be one of the best players in the country, but if you cannot show that, if you fail to compete at the next level in your grades, then you're going to be below average, right? So it sounds cliche, but remember that you're going to be student athletes and a student first and then an athlete. We've been telling you this over and over and over, right? Even if you're the greatest, if you don't have good grades, you're not going to be accepted into the college. So it is really important so that you have that. If you don't believe us in that, here is what some coaches from universities are saying. For example, Brian Fearson, right? He's a coach. He says, good grades make the recruiting process much easier. Student first, athlete second. Books before ball. I really like that. Books before ball. So when you remember that, right? This is something parents, coaches, friends, and family. One of the best things you can do for your student athlete is to hold them to a high academic standard. Good grades help them create a more next level opportunities. So those are really, really important. So don't forget those. Now you need to include your GPA, your test scores, your intended major, if you know it, and any key statistics that relate to your sport. So for example, the number of goals, if you scored, if you are a forward in soccer, right? If you're in basketball, if you throw percentage, if you're in other sports, your times swimming, your times if you are into if you are a cross country, or all that information, how much you jump, what is your height, what is your weight, probably how speed you run, all of those information, right? Without and this information, you're wasting your time because the coach says, oh yeah, you know our school, that's very good, you're interested in the school, that's perfect. But if you're not giving me specifics for me to know you and take a decision, they will not know if you're a good fit. Maybe you are below the average. Maybe you are on the average. Maybe you are above the average in their team. So they need to know this, right? It is really, really important. So they need to have a picture of you. Remember that many times this coaches, if they are in the United States, many times they have tours and they travel. But for many of us here, since we are not living in the United States, and you are not probably in an American high school, and so you're going to rely a lot on these emails. And of course, coaches are going to rely a lot on your highlights and your online profiles. Remember that that is really important. You already did a highlight video for the Opportunity Defense Program. If you're in Mexico United FC, you're doing that also. So, and maybe you have an Instagram account, a YouTube profile or something where you are creating your sports, your athlete profile. That's great. Now share that also. That needs to be in the email. Coaches cannot probably see you when you play, right? So that video, that online profile is going to be really important. Send it. Have a clear and and easy links to your profile, right? To your CV, to your sports CV, right? So this is going to be really important. Um, remember, coaches don't have the budget to travel overseas, right? They don't have the budget to travel to Mexico to come see you. So you need to show them how you play. That's going to be really important. You can use many platforms. You can use YouTube. You can use Huddle, Vimeo, Instagram. I know some of you use Instagram. Any platform that you want to use, but you need to have a place where you can have your materials, right? Include the videos, make sure that they are available to see for everyone to see, and then somewhere that you can look at, that they can look at your highlight videos. All right, Yandy, we're with you.
Thank you. If we can move to the next slide. Okay, so this next step, it's about including your contact information and your references. So now that you have your video and also your online portfolio, online profile, sorry, it's time to include your contact information as well. This is very important when you start contacting not only coaches, but when you also start contacting other higher education institutions. Make sure your email is a professional looking email address. If you don't have one that it's professional, create one. If you don't have one that it's easy to read or that it's easy to write, we will just encourage you to create one that's professional looking. Stay away from using, I don't know, sweetgirl2020 at gmail.com. No, make sure to look for something professional. Usually professional looking emails are your first and your last name. You may include a number, etc. So make sure you have one to start off. Also in your signature, that I'm going to be talking a little bit more about that, include your email address and all your phone number so that coaches can quickly contact you and add you to your database. If you write your phone number in your signature, make sure you write your phone number as if they are calling you from the US. Okay, so with your area code, etc. I think it's plus 52, blah, 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 and your number. So because we want to make you available. If they want to give you a call, they know exactly how they need to dial your number. Also, include your Twitter and Instagram profiles, but only if you share recruiting related content. If you have created a Twitter or an Instagram or another or a Facebook profile or any other social media accounts where you share recruiting related content, you need to add those. If you don't have these social media accounts for recruiting related purposes, then it's probably not necessarily to do that. Social media sites like Twitter are becoming more prevalent in the college recruiting landscape. I'm going to share with you on the chat just a link that talks a little bit more about how to leverage social media to improve your recruiting opportunities. So I'm gonna type that on the chat and make sure, there we go. Make sure you open that, save that, and review it a little bit later. This version shows tips on how to leverage social media for your recruiting process. What are some of the things that you need to add to your social media platforms? Your position, your grad year, your GPA, your test scores, your highlight video, and your recruiting profile to your bio. Juan already talked a little bit more about this, but this article that I shared with you will help you uh, on that. Also, make sure you include any reference college coaches that can contact for more information. They usually can be your club or your high school coach or any other places that you currently play. Make sure you add the name, what's the relationship, I mean your coach, if it's an assistant or any other positions. Make sure to add that. Probably the easiest way will be to add an email as well, and also if applicable a phone number. If we can move to the next slide, please. Okay, now setting your email signature. Next slide. We already covered a little bit what are some of the things you need to add. If you are not sure how to set your email signature, you can contact us, contact your advisor, Jenny, Juanma, myself, or Elizabeth, and we can help you with that. It's really easy how you set your Gmail signature, or your Hotmail, or your Outlook, or your iCloud signature. It's really easy. Or you can probably look for a short video on YouTube and they will tell you how to do it. But this is an example of a student athlete email signature, okay? He is a student who wants to play college soccer. So we already covered this. As you can see, we have his name, followed by his high school, Torrey Pines High School, followed by the graduation date, su generación, class of 2024. And then we have his information about where he currently plays and also his position. We also have his GPA, promedio, and his SAT scores, okay? And then he has a link that will take coaches directly to his page, his profile, where coaches can review stats, videos, and references. And I am assuming that he has content that will help him get recruited using Twitter. So he added his handle for Twitter, his email, and also his phone number. So something like this is what your email signature will probably need to look like. If you have any questions about this, make sure to reach out to us. I will suggest, I don't know how many of you have thought about creating your profile. For example, there are some websites that I'm gonna be sharing. You need to pay a fee to use those websites. It's like a profile where you can see stats, video, and the references. But there are many other options that you can create and they are free. You can have a blog through WordPress. You can also have a Google site. I'm not sure if Google site is free. Juanma, do you know if Google site is free or, yeah, okay. So if you have a Gmail account, usually there are many resources that you can use through your Gmail account. So for example, the one that you've been using, Google the classrooms. That's available through your Gmail account. What else? The video calling that we usually meet with you, Google Meet, and there are many other resources available to you. So look for Google Site. It's pretty easy to use, and use this maybe your own site. This will help you to add, as I said, your stats, your videos, your references, photos, your bio, anything you want to add, and this will be helpful. As I said, it's very easy to use. They usually have templates where you can just select one and you can start creating, and it's free. So make sure to do a little bit more research on that if you don't have one yet. If we can move to the next slide. Then once you have everything set up, everything that these 8 steps have taught you, you are ready to send your email and also to track your emails. Next slide. Okay, so as you see on screen, now that you've done all the hard work to write your email, it's time to send it. Open up your email service of your preference. I think we've talked a little bit more about Gmail, Google Suite, so maybe do that. You can label your emails so that you can easily keep track of your communication with colleges, with college coaches, sorry. Labeling your emails through Gmail, again, it's really easy. I'm not gonna show you right now. I'm pretty sure you can Google it or maybe find a short video on YouTube that can tell you how to do it. But you might consider doing this because when you send a lot of emails, it'll be easy to track the emails that you send. Maybe also have a Google Sheet or have a notebook or something on your document, phone or anywhere that will help you track and write down to whom and when you send the email. Okay, so I have one for my personal work. I usually have one that I track when I send emails to my advisees and any notes that will help me to follow up. So whatever it's easier for you, do that. There are many different apps. If you are a bit more tech savvy, there are different apps on your phone that will help you track your emails and also your tasks. I'm sure that your phones have already an app for reminders and stuff like that. So maybe you may consider start using that. Very important, spell check and use proper grammar. Have someone read your email before you send it. As I said, you're probably gonna be working, if you haven't done so, with your Education USA advisor. Share with your advisor your template and make sure that it has the proper grammar, it has the right if it's not too long, and that it has the right information. You are gonna be using templates again. Maybe highlight the blanks or the spaces that you need to be changing in every email. You don't want to send one email to the wrong person or to the wrong school referring to a different person or to a different school. Also, take into consideration that if you are attempting to reach coaches during holiday breaks or the middle of the season, these emails responses will probably take longer time. I suggest waiting after the holidays or busy parts of the season, okay? Make sure you take into consideration of that. I'm pretty sure you can Google, or if you don't know the US holidays, reach out to your closest advisor, we can let you know. Or even if you go to the institution, sorry, that you're interested, they should have an option on their menu about calendars, and they will tell you specifically which are the holidays or the vacation times or these seasons, this part of the seasons where they have when they're busy or they're playing. If we can move to the next slide. Oh, and on that, I'm gonna share with you also on the chat. Go to, if we can move to the next slide. Thank you. Because of this last step, I'm gonna share with you the Division 1 and Division 2 recruiting calendars and guides. Make sure you review those again when you're doing the follow-up on when you are reaching out to coaches. So your job is not done not only by sending the email, like, oh, okay, well, I already sent the email. We'll see if the coach contacts me. If not, that's okay, whatever. No, you need to follow up. And this will be also a great exercise for you for the real life. If you are in probably later on when you're taking college classes, this will help you to get ready when you need to do follow-ups for your teachers or for job related things. So you need to follow up. As we can see on screen, college coaches are busy and chances are you won't get a response to the first email you send them. And don't worry about that. That can be for many reasons. And your job is not to guess what the reason is, okay? Your job will be to do your part, reach out, make sure you have a perfect email, make sure your email subject is great, make sure that you have done everything you can on your side, okay? That's the thing that you can control. Your job is to move the process forward to the best of your ability. And of course, we're here to help you. Go back, please. Thank you. You can only control, as you can see, what you can control. And unfortunately, the coach's responses is out of your control. As I mentioned, some coaches might take a little bit longer to get back at you if they're doing recruiting or depending on your sports or depending on the different calendars. As I already shared with you, make sure you review the NCAA recruiting calendars for more information on that. And also, anything that could help the coaches evaluate you further is not a waste of your time. Do not think that, oh, I am sending or I am adding a lot of things to my Google site, or I am adding a lot of videos to my Instagram page, because that is not the case. That actually will help the college coach to know more about you. Don't be afraid of a coach of not being interested in you. You need to have options, and that's why you are currently or have been working with your advisor a list of school, because you need to have options. Also, you may consider following up your email with a phone call. I know, even for me, I hate being on the phone. I hate talking on the phone. For me, it's easier sending me a WhatsApp or send me an email or whatever, but I don't like talking on the phone. And I know some of you don't like, because you are from a different generation. We are from a different generation. But for this, and it can be also very intimidating, dialing your phone, contact the coach, etc., etc. But the phone is also a good way to get a hold of your coach after you have sent an email. So this is a suggestion: email a coach between 2 or 3 times when first sending emails over a period of 7 to 10 days, and try to follow this pattern. If we can move to the next slide. As I said, email a coach 2 or 3 times between a period of time 7 and 10 days. Day 1, you send the email. If you haven't heard back, day 3, email again, but not only, oh, I'm just gonna forward the email, like copy and paste, the same thing. No. Acknowledge the first email. Don't send the exact email from the first day. What do I mean by acknowledge the first email? You can just say on the same email that you previously sent, hi, I'm just wondering if you had the chance to review the email that I previously sent on 3 days ago, but make sure you mention the date, okay? Don't send the exact same email from the first date. If you haven't heard back from your coach, day 8, it's been more than a week. So email again, acknowledge the email, and follow up with a call, okay? You have access to their phones on the website of the university, or where you can see all the contact information about the coach. I'm pretty sure you can find a phone number there. And make sure you acknowledge your previous efforts to reach out and let the coach know this will be your final email until you have something new to share. Maybe have talking points if you get nervous talking on the phone. Practice, I don't know, but make sure that of course have everything written down or have your talking points in English, and just acknowledge like, hi, I'm trying to get a hold of you, I haven't heard back from you, I'm wondering if there's anything else I can share with you, etc. And the last part, let the coach know this will be your final email until you have something new to share. If you don't have anything new to share, for example, new accomplishments or your new scores for SAT or anything new, then with the previous emails that you have sent, that's going to be enough. Follow up with coaches who didn't respond to your initial emails as well, okay? If you haven't heard back from them, still you need to follow up. Last part says, if you haven't heard from a coach after your initial effort to contact them, you can continue to update them every 2 to 4 months. And these 2 to 4 months depends on your timeline. I know some of you have a different timeline because you are going to be graduating next year. I know some of you might be graduating until the following year, until 2025. So this will depend, but you want to send them updates, as I said, on things like where you're playing, new highlights, or if your academic performance has changed. This can seem like you're wasting your time because you are emailing a coach that you aren't even sure is reading your messages, and that is okay. But the reason you're sending these emails is to let them know what is happening, and you want to assume that you still have a chance, okay? So as you can see, it's a lot of work. It's not only the work of setting up my signature, my email topic, and reading the email. That's probably 50% of this process. Then you need to follow up. And this is why I previously mentioned that you might want to start a Google Sheet or an app, or something on your notebook, something that will help you track your tasks and your emails. And you might also want to consider labeling your emails on Gmail or any other email platform that you use. And if we can move to the last slide, please. And also, there will be a time when you need to stop sending emails to a particular coach or to a particular program. If a coach has specifically told you you don't qualify athletically or academically for your program, then there is no need to keep updating them because they have given you an answer. And don't get sad or discouraged about this. This is why you need to have any other options. Also, if the coach has responded that they are no longer recruiting for your class position, there's also no need to follow up, okay? Keep in mind that some programs are finished recruiting for a particular recruiting class years in advance. If you receive something like this, just follow up with a thank you email. Thank you, coach, blah, 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 for your time and for reading my email. And that's it. You just follow up nicely with a thank you note. If we can go to the next slide, I think that's my last one. Yes. And now we're going to share with you an email example. And it has all of the tips that we have talked about today. Next slide. Okay. And I know probably get closer to your screen. I'm going to read it. I'm going to start from the very top. It is addressed to Marcos Ugarte, who is the assistant coach, okay? And as you can see, it has the email topic, all of the tips that Juanma said. The GPA and also the year class, the 2023 forward position, the GPA, his score on the SAT, and what he's interested in studying. And then it says, Coach Ugarte, congratulations on being hired as the newest assistant coach for the Michigan soccer program. I think it's fantastic that you are now coaching at the same school you play for. I remember watching you 3-2 over Notre Dame your senior season. What a game that was. This first paragraph is friendly, is short, and is telling us that Colin, the student athlete, he did his research. I think Juan already talked about that. He did his research. So you might want to do research on the person that you're trying to contact, just so they know that you already know them and why you're interested in. Now, the second paragraph, this is the objective of the email. I am writing as I am very interested in becoming part of the Michigan men's soccer program. I am a hardworking and clinical forward and believe I would fit nicely into your 4-3-3 system. Additionally, I am very interested in enrolling in the prestigious Ross School of Business for my major. Again, it's short, easy to understand, easy to read. He has shown his interest in playing for the men's soccer game, and he mentioned something that is specific for the team, a 4-3-3 system. And now he also mentions the program that he's interested in enrolling, because remember, you are not only going to be playing for the school, you are also going to be taking classes. You're also going to be studying. So the two things, they need to be in balance. Now, third paragraph. I currently have a 3.7 GPA and a 28 SAT score. I will graduate in 2023. I can also send you my transcript if that would be helpful. You might want to consider the same. And now, here is my latest highlight video. And Colin has a YouTube link that will take College Ugarte to review his video. You can find my references, more highlights, and other information on my online profile. Okay, Colin has an online profile. As I said, there are different platforms where you can have an online profile for recruiting. If you don't have the means, the money, or the budget to do that, then follow my advice, create a Google site, create a WordPress page, or something that will help you display this information. Please see my below email signature for all my updated contact information and social profiles. Thank you in advance for your consideration, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. And it is the same email signature that I previously shared with you. So your email template and your email that you're going to be using to contact your coaches, it's probably going to look something like this. Make sure you contact your advisor to learn a little bit more about this, or if you have any questions, or if you want further guidance. And also make sure you contact us to review your grammar and your spelling check and all of this. So as you can see, it's a lot of work. I'm pretty sure that if you spend probably a weekend, a couple of 2 days working on putting together your videos or your online profile or your Google site, you can start on that. So if we can move to the next slide, I think that's my last slide of questions. And if you have any questions, I don't see anything on the chat. If you have any questions, you can type them on the chat. Or if you want, you can unmute yourself and ask us a question. And if we move to the next slide, if you haven't think of any questions yet, you can email your advisor for further questions or concerns or guidance. So any questions, guys? Or Juan, I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add. I think we have a question from Chensi.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
have a question. Is it very common that they contact like the coaches we type on our CV, or like the people they can contact there? Because like what if they don't speak Spanish, or well, if in case if they call them? Because you say it's most common that they email them, right?
Yeah, it is common that they contact your references. That's why you are adding those to your online profile. I will say probably when you write your references, if your coaches don't speak English, you can add that to the references. Like my coach doesn't speak English, and maybe they can try someone who can speak Spanish to talk to the coach, but probably they will get in contact with them first via email. If that's the case, maybe you can help your coach to translate the email, or if you're not sure, you can also reach out to your advisors so we can help you with that. But I will say when you're listing your references, maybe add that it's that your coach doesn't speak the language, or if they, and also maybe you want to write their availability, that I think that it's also possible. Juan, I don't know if there's anything you want to add.
Maybe I just want to add that probably you're not going to be unaware of this contact. I mean, coaches are going to be really busy. So unless they are already doing and having conversations with you and they're interested, and that a way of confirming that they want you also is going to be through contacting your references. So don't think that they are contact your reference first and then they're going to contact you. It's going to be like if they're doing something with you and they've been in conversation and then you've been having probably you already had an interview or something, and say, if they are interested, then they're going to say, okay, we're really interested in this student. Then just to confirm that we are seeing is true, we're gonna contact the references. So don't think that you're gonna be contacting people. It's not time strategic for them. So it will be, that's a later step. So don't worry that they'll be contacting people and you're not gonna know.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's a good question.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question? So originally, I had thought that what I wanted to have your samples and your drafts and that we're not gonna have time to do that. But please make sure that for the next meeting that you have with your advisors, bring your draft and review it with them for that.
Yes. So now we're gonna be sharing the presentation, the recording, and the presentation itself on Google Classroom. If you want to review it again, but now you're ready, you know how this email needs to look like. And as Juanma said, reach out to your advisor if you have any other questions, and have this ready for your next meeting with your advisors.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. We hope this was helpful. Of course, there are many other resources you can review on YouTube, on Google. Juanma, previous to this meeting, he shared with you a couple of videos that if you didn't watch them, we highly encourage you to review those. They are not very long and they are easy to understand and to follow. And those tips are actually from student athletes. So I think it'll be helpful for you to review them before you start drafting your emails. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Goodbye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
So much.
Bye, thank you.